In a 2022 interview, Emily Blunt said the following words. It's the worst thing ever when you open a script and read the words strong female lead. That makes me roll my eyes. I'm already out. I'm bored. Those roles are written as incredibly stoic. You spend the whole time acting tough and saying tough things. Imagine you're an actress who gets offered tens of millions of dollars to play a character, and when you see the script, you roll your eyes. Now, imagine being the audience.
It's a scene.
Welcome to part 8 of my series, Why I Stopped Watching The Handmaid's Tale. Today, I am picking it up from Season 2, Episode 2. June is being moved to her next hiding location. She is in the back of a truck, hearing sirens and feeling exposed and vulnerable.
We get so comfortable with walls. It doesn't even take that long.
When she arrives, we see the man who moved her there wasn't the butcher from before. He's an older man, and he seems to have the demeanor of someone who doesn't really exist in Gilead. Like he's still living in the old world. It's refreshing.
There is I.
After a while, crocodile.
June is now in the Boston Globe. The whole building is abandoned. I might be nitpicking a little here, but shouldn't that building have been repurposed as a Gilead propaganda tool? It already has the infrastructure and the printing presses. Why waste it? I'm not sure if the printing presses are inside these buildings, but you know what I mean, right? At this moment, the building isn't being used, but water and power are being maintained. Fine, let's take it from here. June explores the space, and it looks like it was frozen in time ever since the thing that happened here actually happened. It's like Pompeii, an artifact from the before times. People had walked into that building one day thinking it was just another workday, not knowing that this would be their last workday and in fact their last day. They disappeared, but their belongings remained. A coffee mug that just dried out and never got washed. A DVD of friends collecting dust. Hello, old friend. I will talk about you later. A single shoe. Now we're seeing signs of the violence inherent in the takeover.
Now we see the violence inherent in the system.
I'm sorry, but whenever a Monty Python joke presents itself, I take it. So be warned. At last, June arrives at the place where obviously the execution of journalists had taken place. Empty nooses hang from the ceiling. The wall is splattered with bullet holes and blood. And the other shoe. And this scene really hits June hard. So much so that when Nick arrives, she demands that he take her away from this place instantly because...
Do you know what happened here? Slaughterhouse.
And when he tells her it's not safe outside and that she has to stay at least a few weeks, she gets very angry with him. What the hell is wrong with June? The show plays out like, well, she's so shaken by the execution site she needed to run away, but... seriously, let's take a look back. Every day that she lived in Gilead as a handmaid, she walked past bodies hanging on the walls. It had become background scenery. Except for that time the Mexican delegation was coming to visit and they took down the bodies, June was washing the blood off the walls. Even Janine said it was strange to see the walls without the bodies. And just last episode, June and her friends were almost going to be among those bodies. So now, what is your problem, June? I don't want to minimize the impact of the scene, but at least there were no actual bodies there. Why do you need to get out of the building so quickly? A whole organization arranged to break you out and get you here. Not only Nick, but the men who've moved you around. If you get caught, you won't be the only person hurt by this. You should be feeling nothing but extreme gratitude to those people, and instead you want to jeopardize them and yourself. Brilliant.
Because you want to play the hero, huh, Nick?
The fuck are you talking about?
You can say that again.
The fuck are you talking about?
One more time, please, for the heart of thinking.
The fuck are you talking about?
But no, she cannot be reasoned with. June is a bratty little kid who's having a tantrum. She demands the car keys, and after he gives up and gives them to her, he calls her back and gives her his gun. Great! So when she gets caught with his gun, he's going to have to answer for that. She takes it and gets in the car, and then suddenly reality sinks in. Now you'd think that she comes back out feeling a bit, I don't know, sheepish? But no. Now her frustration is redirected at Nick. He didn't do anything wrong, but she needs a punching bag, so she assaults him. And he lets her. Maybe he's into that sort of thing. Maybe he's just trying to appease her so she can calm down already. I know, the show just wanted to write her tough, but I am embarrassed for June, and all I see is unreasonable, ungrateful, ignorant, reckless, brat. This was the moment in the show that I decided that I hated her. She is a huge liability, and anyone who wants to help her only has themselves to blame, and their efforts are better spent saving someone else. Later, when we cut back to June, she has accepted that she needs to stay hidden for a while and make do. So she is hanging around and watching an episode of Friends, the one where they discuss erogenous zones.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Now, when someone in a post-apocalyptic world watches a show from the before times, it is very usually a light-hearted sitcom. Nothing is more fluffy and frivolous than a sitcom, a show in which each episode stands alone. You don't need to catch up on the plot or analyze the context and themes. You just sit down and laugh over lame jokes for 20 minutes. At the time, you may even think of it as a mindless slop or a guilty pleasure, but post-apocalypse, you realize what a luxury that was. In the show Pluribus, Carol's post-apocalyptic show was Golden Girls. I don't know why the show picked that one. Carol is a lesbian. Is Golden Girls popular with gay women? Please let me know in the comments. But in The Handmaid's Tale, they picked Friends, and that is a very fitting choice for several reasons. First of all, Friends was the most popular and widely viewed show ever. It completely dominated the 90s. It had cultural impact that even included hairstyles like the Rachel. If I were to gather items for a 90s time capsule, Friends would definitely be in there. The 90s as a decade was significant because it was the last time we had decades. More and more people are noticing this. After we hit the millennium, we stopped living in decades. We used to all exist in the same decade as a monoculture. We all used to watch the same show, and even those who didn't would still know about the show. But ever since 2000, we don't live in decades anymore, and we don't have a monoculture. Today, we all live through the same year and the same world events, but we're much more aware of which generation we belong to than the decade that we all live in. And each group lives in their own cultural bubble, driven by algorithms that customize our versions of reality. Your favorite show today might be something most people outside your cohort have never heard of. But Friends was universal. Even in the Middle East, even today, if you live in Egypt, for example, you can browse through your TV channels at any given time and find an episode of Friends on the air. But let's stick to the Western world. As popular as Friends was back in the day, today some argue that it didn't age well. Gay jokes were homophobic, Joey was creepy, there was not enough diversity of color, etc. In a way, the show already has become a relic of the past when it comes to what is considered acceptable messaging. And that applies to Gilead, but for different reasons. In our world, a gay joke is disrespectful and demeaning of gay people. In the show's world, a gay joke is blasphemous for its casual normalization of homosexuality. Like, it's no joke, and the punchline should be a hanging. But yes, in a way, even in our world today, Friends is a relic of the past and is an artifact of the before times. I know I talked a lot about Friends, and I still want to point something out. It featured in a Netflix movie in a very similar way, Leave the World Behind, produced by the Obamas of all people. This movie was about a massive cyber attack that hit the US, which turned off all power across the country and caused mass chaos. Nobody had access to news, so nobody knew what was happening. It was mass chaos and paranoia. But one character, a young girl, all she cared about was finishing her marathon of Friends. When the lights went out, she had seen all of it except the finale. By the end of the movie, she discovers someone's doomsday bunker, breaks in, finds a DVD player and a copy of Friends, and gets to watch the finale at last. Da, 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 da. I apologize for the very long tangent about Friends. Now back to The Handmaid's Tale. June gathers all the items she finds for the dearly departed. She places the shoes together, she builds a shrine, she lights some candles, and she prays for their souls. Before I go, I want to share some comments people wrote on my previous videos. You may notice a pattern. It's all so slow, and the endless shots of June's face. I had to stop watching The Handmaid's Tale because I couldn't take seeing close-up after close-up after close-up of Elizabeth Moss's face. I've started to find her insufferable, to be honest. Loved the first season so much, but the awful, unnecessary, angsty, angry close-ups of June on the second season gave me the ick. stopped watching it since. And I don't just hate the content, but also the cinematography. Constant shots against bright light, and all those dang close-ups of faces, especially June's, and her constant staring at the camera. Ugh. So it's not just me. The strong female character is not resonating. So please, stop that. As a woman, I'm begging you. This is embarrassing to watch. Thank you, showrunners, who are definitely watching my videos and give a damn about what I think. And to all of you who are still here watching, thank you so much for your attention and time, which I prize dearly. I hope you come back for my next installment. See you next time. So no one told you life was gonna be this way.
It's a scene.